everyone! In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this gorgeous wrap style shawl. Please check out the description box below for links to the pattern and yarn I used. This is my interpretation of the written pattern, and I teach this pattern to the best of my ability. I hope you enjoy watching. Now let's get started. To begin, I have chosen about 2,400 yards of 100% cotton light worsted DK yarn. I have also chosen a C 2.75mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a yarn needle to weave in ends. Begin by creating your favorite slip knot. Insert your hook, cinch down your slip knot, and chain 6. Slip stitch to your first chain to form a ring. Insert your hook, grab your yarn and pull it through and then through the loop on your hook. Round 1, chain 3. I'm going to be working over this tail, so you're going to see me wrap it around like this. And it's just like a ring like that. And now we're going to double crochet into the ring. Yarn over, insert your hook into the ring. I'm grabbing that tail and the ring. Pull up a loop. We now have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops. This chain 3 at the beginning is going to count as our first double crochet. Chain 2, and double crochet again into the ring. Chain 2. Now we have a set of 2 double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and chain 2. We will begin a repeat from here. 2 double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2. Again, the repeat is 2 double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2. We're going to repeat this until we have 6 sets of 3. So again, we have our first set of 3 right here. 3, 3. So we're going to do this repeat 4 more times. Here I'm just putting the last repeat in, and I just wanted to show you that you can move your work around on the ring so you can make space for yourself. Slip stitch to the top of your chain 3 to complete round 1. Round 2, chain 1 and single crochet into your same stitch you slip stitched into, so the top of that chain 3. Insert your hook, grab your yarn and pull up a loop. I have 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through both loops for the single crochet. Now we're going to treble crochet between these 2 stitches. So the 2 stitches that are close together is where the treble is going to go between. To treble crochet, you're going to yarn over twice. We're going to insert our hook between those 2 stitches, and we're going to go back into that ring from the back side like this. Grab your yarn and pull up a loop. I have 4 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the second 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. This is going to push this stitch forward for a texture. Next we're going to single crochet into this second double crochet here. Then chain 2 and single crochet into the top of this single double crochet. Chain 2, and then we're just going to be repeating this all the way around. So for these two that are close together, we're going to be single crocheting into the first one, treble crochet down between them, single crochet into the second one, chain 2, single crochet into your single double crochet there, chain 2, and repeat. And then we're back to repeat again. Once I get to the end, I will show you how my work is looking. So here is round 2 complete, and we should have 6 of these trebles, and they're going to stick up like this, creating a texture. For round 3, we're going to chain 3. This is going to count as our first double crochet. For this round, we're going to be double crocheting into this first double crochet of the group. Then into this treble here, we're going to be placing 3 stitches. Double crocheting, treble front post around this previous treble, then double crocheting back into that same stitch, double crocheting into the next single crochet, and then chain 2, double crochet into your single crochet, chain 2, and then we're just going to repeat this all the way around. So again, this first chain 3 is going to count as our first double crochet. Then double crochet into your treble stitch. And now we're going to front post treble around this treble stitch here. To do that, we're going to yarn over twice, insert our hook from one side of the stitch of the post of the stitch to the other, like this. Grab our yarn and pull up a loop. There are the 4 loops for the treble. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the second 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. Now we're going to double crochet back into that same stitch that we just double crocheted into right here. So that middle stitch. So we're going to yarn over and look for that stitch. It's going to be behind this treble here. And we've already crocheted into it, so it's going to be used, this stitch right here. Pull up your loop and finish your double crochet. So again, we have 3 stitches all into that middle stitch. Next, double crochet into your next single crochet. Chain 2, double crochet into your single crochet right here. Chain 2, and now we're back over here to this grouping where we're going to repeat this. So again, double crochet into your first stitch, that first single crochet, then 3 stitches are going into this treble stitch. So you're going to double crochet, treble front post, double crochet back into that same stitch, and double crochet into your next single crochet. Then chain 2, double crochet into your single crochet. Chain 2, and we're just going to repeat this all the way around. Once you get to the end of round 3, you're just going to slip stitch to the top of your chain 3. And this is how my work is looking after round 3. So we have 1 double crochet into each one of those single crochets, and then of course our groupings of 4 double crochet and 1 front post treble. To begin round 4, we're going to chain 1 and single crochet into the top of that chain 3. For this round, we're going to be single crocheting in every single stitch around and chaining 2 over these chain 2 spaces. So I have single crocheted into the top of my chain 3, and then I wanted to show you this right here. It's hard to see, but that you're supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches here. So you want to make sure and grab that second stitch right there. Here I am at the end of round 4, and I have 36 single crochet. Once you've come to the end, you just want to slip stitch to your very first stitch. To begin round 5, chain 3. This chain 3 is going to count as your first double crochet. For this round, we're going to be doing a very similar thing as we did on round 3, where this very middle stitch that's sitting over the treble front post here, we're going to be double crocheting, front post treble, and double crocheting into. So 3 stitches into that middle stitch, and then we're going to have 2 double crochet on each side. So again, this chain 3 counts as our first double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet into our next stitch, double crochet, front post treble, double crochet into this next stitch. And we're going to hop down to grab that front post. Then grabbing that same stitch to double crochet again into. Then double crochet into your next 2 stitches. Chain 2, and into this single crochet right here between these 2 chains, we're going to place 3 double crochet all into the same stitch. Chain 2, and then we're going to repeat what we did here and here all the way around. Once we get to the end of round 5, I will meet back up. We're just going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 3, and then we can begin round 6. To complete round 5, slip stitch to the top of your chain 3. Round 6, chain 1. Round 6, we're going to have a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into each one of these front post trebles. Into all of the other stitches, we're just going to be single crocheting. And we'll also be single crocheting 1 over these chain 2 spaces here. So 3 single crochet, then single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, 3 single crochet. Over those chain 2 spaces, we're just going to place a single crochet. Once I get to the end of this round, I will show you how it looks. You can go ahead and slip stitch to the top of that first single crochet. So here I have slip stitched to the top of my first single crochet, and that is round 6 complete. Round 7 is really fun. We're just going to be double crocheting into each stitch all the way around, and then once we get to these chain 2 spaces, we're going to place 3 double crochet into those. So again, chain 3 is your first double crochet, and then just a double crochet into each one of these stitches. And then 3 into that chain 2 space. Once we get to the end of this round, I will show you how my work is looking, and we can meet back up for round 8. So here is round 7 all finished for me, and I just slip stitched to the top of my chain 3 at the beginning. Round 8 is going to be very similar to round 7, except we're going to be single crocheting and also single crochet back loops only. So into the very middle stitch of that set of 3 that we just did on round 7, the very middle stitch, we're going to place 3 back loop only single crochet right into that middle stitch. So chain 1, and into the top of this chain 3 here, I just like to do a regular single crochet. Then don't forget your little funny stitch there. We're going to back loop only. So of course, back loop only is only grabbing the back loop of the stitch. You can see the stitch has 2 loops, one in the front here and one in the back, creating that V. So we're going to go right from the top of the stitch, and we're just going to grab that back loop. Then just single crochet. And again into each stitch all the way around. It pushes that front loop forward and makes another texture. Once you get to that middle stitch of the set of 3 there, you're going to place 3 back loop only single crochet all into that same space. Then just continue all the way around. Once you get to the end of round 8, just go ahead and slip stitch to your first single crochet. Here I have slip stitched to my first single crochet at the end of round 8. Round 9 is going to be the joining round. So you're going to create this round on your first motif, and then each motif after that you will be using that round 9 to crochet into. For this pattern, we are going to create a total of 33 hexagons. You will then also have a filler motif, and I can show you the diagram. So we're going to have 33 full hexagons, and they're going to be set up 3, 2, 3, 2, all the way up. And then these are your filler motifs. Round 9, chain 1, and single crochet into your first stitch. Then we're going to chain 2, skip the next stitch, and single crochet into the following stitch. Chain 2, skip a stitch, and single crochet. Single crochet, chain 2, skip a stitch, all the way around. So here I have my first motif complete, and you can see that round 9 is really pretty all the way around. And I have also completed my second hexagon, and I am ready to begin round 9 and then join them together. So again, the diagram had them lined up like this. So we're going to have 3 hexagons across like so. So I'm going to have another hexagon here. And they're going to be joined by just this space right here. So this one side here is going to be where they're going to be joined. So it's actually, I'm going to turn it because we're going to start our round 9 and then they're going to fit together like this. And then you're going to complete round 9 of this motif. So then they'll be attached by this side here only. Then your next one, you're going to do the same thing. And then the ones that stack up on top, they will be touching only here, and so on and so forth. So let's begin this section right here. So here we go, round 9 joining round. I have chained 1, and you're going to single crochet into your first stitch. Chain 2, skip a stitch, and single crochet. Chain 2, skip a stitch, and single crochet. And now here we are at the 3 corner stitches. You're going to chain 2, skip a stitch, single crochet into that middle stitch of the set of 3, and then chain 1. From here, we're going to start joining. So here we are on the joining motif, and you see this center single crochet here is the very middle of the corner. So we have these chain 2s on each side. For me, I have chosen to split that into all of the loops on one side is this side. So we're going to be working into these loops right here like this. So I'm going to be slip stitching to join into this first chain 2 space here. So again, on our working motif, I have chained 1, and I'm going to slip stitch to that chain 2 on that side. So there's the corner, and I'm slip stitching right in here. So inserting my hook, grabbing my yarn, and pulling it through and through. Next, we chain 1, skip a stitch on our working motif, and single crochet. Just like that. Then chain 1, slip stitch into our next chain 2 space on the joining motif, chain 1, skip a stitch on the working motif, and single crochet. And we're just going to continue in this fashion. And here I have one more chain 2 space before that very center single crochet there on the joining motif. So I'm just going to chain 1, slip stitch into that last chain 2 space, chain 1, and now I'm just going to single crochet into the middle stitch of the working motif here. And then we're just going to complete round 9 as we did for this motif. So we're just going to chain 2, skip a stitch and single crochet, and repeat. Once you go all the way around, finish by just slip stitching and then fastening off. Alright, so there are 2 motifs joined, and next I will put my next motif here like this, join in the same fashion that I did this. From here, you're just going to continue repeating this, except for, of course, your 2 motifs that go on top here, 1, 2, will go into these spaces here, and you will be joining like this. So these 2 sides will be joined, and then you're going to complete round 9 up and around. Create a slip knot of your choice. Chain 6. Join with a slip stitch to form a ring. Row 1, chain 3. This chain 3 will count as your first double crochet. Double crochet 8 more into your ring. Now we have a total of 9 double crochet into the ring, counting that chain 3 at the beginning. Chain 3 and turn to begin row 2. Row 2, we're going to work a double crochet into our first stitch here. So now we have 2 double crochet into the same stitch, chain 3 and double crochet. That's 2. Then we're going to work a double crochet into the next stitch and increase, or 2 double crochet into the following stitch, and we're going to do this all the way across. So 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochet in the following stitch, and repeat. Now we have a total of 14 double crochet. Row 3, chain 3, and turn. Repeat this all the way across, and you're going to end with just a double crochet into the very last stitch. At the end of row 3, you should have 21 double crochet. And you see my work is cupping a little bit. This is completely normal. You can slide the stitches so they're more on one side, and that helps a lot. For row 4, I'm going to chain 4 and turn. This chain 4 counts as a double crochet, chain 1. Then double crochet, chain 1 into each stitch across. So because that chain 4 is counting as our first stitch, you want to make sure and skip that V, that very first V there. You should have 21 double crochet, all separated by a chain 1. At the end of row 4, this is how my work looks. Chain 3 and turn to begin row 5. Row 5, we're going to be double crocheting in each double crochet and space across. So this chain 3 will cover this first double crochet here, and then you're just going to double crochet into that space, then double crochet into your double crochet, and repeat. At the end of this row, you should have 41 double crochet. Here is my work at the end of row 5. Row 6, chain 3. This row is going to be an increase row, so double crochet into the same stitch. Then double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and 2 double crochet into the following stitch. Repeat this all the way across. You're going to be ending with a single double crochet into your last stitch. You're going to have 55 double crochet. Here is my motif at the end of row 6. Row 7 on your filler motif, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Single crochet into your first stitch. Now we're going to join the motifs in the same fashion as we did the full motifs. For video purposes, I have put these motifs together, but I do highly recommend going ahead and joining all of your hexagon motifs and then placing the filler motifs afterwards. So these filler motifs are going to go into these spaces just like this. You're going to start with a chain 1 and then find your corresponding corner. So this is it right here for me, and I'm just going to slip stitch into that chain 2 space. Then chain 1, skip a stitch, and single crochet. Chain 1, slip stitch into your chain 2 space. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and single crochet. You're going to continue in that fashion all the way up to this space right here. So I've joined all the way up to here, and I just single crocheted. I'm right here into this corner right here. So I'm going to chain 2, then slip stitch into that corner space, chain 2, skip a stitch and single crochet, then chain 2, slip stitch into the next space here, chain 2, skip a stitch and single crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1 and go back to my slip stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch and single crochet. So it just makes that corner a little bit more flexible with the extra chains. Alright, so here is the finished joining of the motifs. And then once you get to the end here, you just want to chain 2 and single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet, and try to fit in about 14 chain 2 loops all the way across here so that you have this pretty edge on the edge of your shawl. So at first I wasn't going to add any fringe on my shawl, but then I decided that it would really dress it up. So I took a piece of cardboard about 7.5 inches long. I wrapped my yarn around it and cut one side. Then with your folded string, you're just going to loop it through your shawl using your hook. And then I like to just loop it through just like this and pull it tight. I put 2 fringe strings through each one of the loops on my shawl. I hope you enjoy making this gorgeous wrap shawl. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Have a lovely crochet day, and I hope to see you again in my next tutorial. Bye!